Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Timmy, and today we have something really special lined up for all you guys. We have our first suggested video from Grace Brokaw, and Grace wants to know about any tips and insights into how to be successful in grad school. So sit back, grab a notebook, grab your laptop, get ready to take some notes, because I got 10 lined up for you. Let's jump right in. All right, so we got 10 tips / insights, things you should know, things to look out for, things to expect, whatever you want to call it. 10 things based on my experience that you need to know and understand in order to be successful in grad school. So if you're going to be enrolling in grad school in the summer, in the fall, next spring, anytime in the near future, this video is for you. So make sure you're paying attention, take some notes. If you have any questions, please write them down in the comments. If there's any other grad students out there who happen to be watching this and you have a different experience or a different vantage point, please make sure to mention those in the comments below so we can help some people out. So, starting right away, number 10. When you go to grad school, it is a completely different environment, and you can and will get lonely at times. Grad school is very different from undergrad. The class structure is different. The entire environment is different. If you're going into a STEM field, if you're going into the arts, if you're going into humanities, social sciences, anything, it's going to be incredibly different than what you're used to as an undergraduate. So you're going to a brand new place and you're just making friends again for the first time in a new school. It can get lonely. Make sure to stay in great contact with friends that you made throughout your undergrad career. Don't be afraid to engage with older graduate students or your entire cohort of incoming grad students. Always put yourself out there and try to be the initiator of contact, because everyone in your entire incoming class is probably feeling the same thing. Moving on to number 9. This one's gonna sound a little strange. You kinda need to relearn how to read. It's very different than when you're reading papers or preparing a report as an undergrad, because you can be scattered across a whole bunch of different courses until you really focus down into your major. In graduate school, you are 100% laser focused on your topic or your area, subject area of expertise, whatever you want to call it. So learning how to read is really important. This binder is just a portion of all the papers that I've downloaded, printed, read through, highlighted. Reading this from front to back, every page, every single word would have been absolutely draining. So you need to relearn how to read. You need to go through, find out exactly what you're looking for in a lot of things. What is it that you're looking for in that research article or in that textbook, whatever it may be? What are you looking for? Find keywords, go to the results section, then read the methods. There's a whole different way of going about it in order to fully retain and understand what that paper is trying to tell you without reading word for word, line by line, page by page. It's going to be a lot in grad school, between classes, getting used to how those are different. If you're going into a STEM field, doing research, being hands-on involved in things that you may not be used to that are going to take a lot of your time. Putting some things aside for you to do things that you've always enjoyed is really important so that you can retain mental and physical wellness. You really need to find things that you enjoy doing if you haven't found them already. Whether it's arts or music or sports, club sports, organizations, something that you need to do that you genuinely enjoy. Introducing another activity into that, even if you like doing that, can bring in more stress. So number 7 is saving a little bit of time for de-stressors. You like going for runs, going for bike rides, going for swims, going to play music, play your guitar, it doesn't matter. That can bring in a little bit more stress, because if you take that sometimes too seriously, it can become a little bit more of a job than something that's enjoyable. So saving time for something that is completely different is important as well. So for me, that's playing a little bit of video games. You know, if I have an extra hour or 2 in the week, I'll hop on the PlayStation and play Call of Duty with my stepbrother or my friends from Slippery Rock and just unwind and relax. So there's kind of 3 tiers of time commitment. You have your academics and your research or your art or your music that's really important to your graduation at the top. Then you have the things that you enjoy doing, whether it's sports or arts, music, anything. And then that 3rd tier, which is kind of the least important, are those de-stressors. There's kind of a pattern here. Time management is completely different as a graduate student. Undergraduate students have a very set, defined schedule of coursework, homework, exams. It's on you to introduce other extracurriculars and organizations in there, but pretty much the majority of schedules look relatively the same for an undergrad. As a grad student, those can deviate significantly from student to student. So if you have a certain time that you have to be in a music studio or an art studio or an architecture studio or in the lab, that can be completely different from one student to another. So knowing your schedule and what you have to do to make sure that you can fit in all three of those time hierarchies that I talked about, really can test you at time management. Absolutely 100% try your best to not procrastinate as much as possible. I know we all do it. I do it too. Sometimes I'll find myself like this.
The break time!
And then all of a sudden the day's gone. You can get behind incredibly quickly in your coursework, in your research work, in your design, whatever you may be doing. It can compound in a heartbeat. Stuff will add up like that. So you need to make sure you're staying on top of the task and at the same time making sure that you are filling in those 3 time blocks in the hierarchy. Number 4 is staying involved. So a lot of these things are really interrelated and they play off of one another pretty dramatically. But staying involved is really important if that's the kind of person that you are. If you excel when you are involved in a departmental organization, in a college organization, in a university-wide organization, don't stop doing those things. A lot of career opportunities and corporations, companies, they want to see someone who is a well-rounded individual. Take this situation for a second. If you're out to dinner after a job interview and you have several other candidates at the table sitting next to the hiring manager or whoever it is, and they start talking about, I don't know, top TV sitcoms or something related to sports. If you haven't gotten yourself out to enjoy and do the things and expose yourself to things outside of the academic setting, you can put yourself at a disadvantage. Yeah, it's important to talk about things that you have done in graduate school or you have done in undergrad, but what is it about you that makes you as a person the best fit for a position? Everyone's gonna have a lot of similar qualifications for a career. What sets you apart? What makes you different? All those things that you're involved in, those things that you enjoy doing, those are the kind of things that can set you apart. All right, so we've gone 10 through 4, kind of varying areas, a lot of stuff having to do with time management, but things that can generally apply to, most people if they're just going to grad school. But these top 3 are absolutely my top 3 tips. I mean, if there's anything that you take from this, it's these 3 things. Let's start with number 3. Network, network, network. I always take this quote from Dr. John Rindy back at Slippery Rock. Dr. Rindy, you are awesome. I will never forget this. You're either networking or you're not working. Easy as that. You're either networking or you're not working. Networking with people is absolutely everything. You go to conferences, you meet people from other universities, you meet people from industry. Make yourself business cards. Go out and introduce yourself to people. There's socials, there's post-conference happenings. Go meet people. If you don't, there's no way for them to know who you are aside from a cover letter and a resume when you're ready to apply for a position. If somebody is already familiar with your name and they can put a face to it and they've met you and had great discussions and had discussion about those things I talked about before, they'll remember you. And just a simple interaction like that could land you that first position. Networking. You're either doing it or you're not working. Huge for success as a graduate student. So then number 2, take advantage of any and all opportunities that may present themselves to you. Now, there is such a thing as spreading yourself too thin. I am a major culprit of that, but if an opportunity presents itself to you, do it.
Do it! Just do it!
If it's a TA position, if it's a research assistant position, if it's grading for another faculty member, anything like that, can help people get to know you, get to know who you are, all of those things that help build great relationships so that people know that you're dedicated to improving the things around you and not just improving yourself. And my number one tip for success in graduate school: prepare to fail.
What? What?
Yes, prepare to fail. It's something that not a lot of us are used to, especially if we've been accepted to graduate programs. We do well, or we get good grades. Most of the stuff that we do, we're good at. This one goes out to all you who are going into STEM grad programs, engineering programs, bioengineering or biomedical engineering programs specifically. I'm looking at you. Prepare to fail. Experiments will go wrong every day. Things will happen that will make you doubt everything that you're doing. That's the point. That is the entire point of graduate school, is to make you go through things that you haven't gone through before. Experiencing failure and seeing how you respond to it, what you do with it, and how you move on and grow from that is exactly the point of going to grad school, becoming a better person, becoming a better academic, and preparing you to be the best that you can absolutely be in your career choice. So there it is. 10 tips and suggestions from me based on my opinion and my experience that you need in order to be successful as a graduate student. But I want you to keep in mind all of those things, you can apply them and you can take other input from other people. Just realize that it goes pretty quick. And before you know it, you could be sitting in your lab like me, thinking, where the heck did the time go? Thanks for joining me, everybody. We'll see you next time.